Hi everybody and welcome to back to my channel. Hi.
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 You'll notice that I have a few treasured guests here today. This is my husband Josh.
Hello.
And y'all might remember him from from that one video we did. And then this is Alora. Y'all know Alora.
Hello.
And this is our babyest bean.
Name drop maybe.
And we are the Bays. All right, we're just gonna have a little chit chat today and see some of the things that we can talk about. First question, I'm gonna throw to him. So let's get into it. Do y'all still like summer? And I say this because we've been having record heat. Like, it's been hot. And me being pregnant all summer, it hasn't been, summer just hasn't been giving what it needs to have gave for like the past couple years for me. I've always enjoyed autumn, fall more. And then I transitioned to a point where I really liked summer. Like when we were living in California, I really liked summer because it was like literally summer year round. And like we just did so many fun things. But I feel like
The farmer's
market. I know, right? And I feel like now I just find myself yearning for fall again. Like fall has become my new bae again.
Like, new bae.
Like that's we've reconnected.
I don't know. I feel like the season that I have the most clothes for is my favorite. You know, there's definitely been a couple years I was like, oh, can't wait to break out this down coat, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I guess the season that like I'm dressed best for. But summer is always my favorite. I can cut loose. I don't like wearing. Those of us who may know me would they don't know you. No, not even a little bit. Yeah, I don't like wearing shoes. I don't like wearing shoes. If there is a Birkenstock and no sock option, I'm there. I wear that to every event if I could.
Well, now that Halloween is coming up, and y'all know I don't celebrate Halloween. So to refresh, I don't celebrate Halloween because I used to have really bad seasonal depression, and God just told me to stop celebrating Halloween, and my seasonal depression went away. But I did a whole video about that and just about like the spiritual implications of Halloween. But with Halloween coming up, what do you feel about the mainstreaming of witches and witch culture?
Yo, that's actually wild. I was just thinking about that because Disney Plus is dropping another show. Yeah, Agatha all along. And if Disney, if you're watching, stop pissing me off. All right. Like you about to lose a fan for real. Like growing up, I've always read the Marvel comics. When I heard you guys acquired Marvel, I thought, man, like we're about to see characters hit the screen that, that like it. I was so here for it, and then you start rolling out things in the mystical realm, and then I go, wait a minute.
You know what?
Wait a minute. You think you're slick.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was actually scary. Like, you could feel just like the dark spiritual energy from the screen. And we saw it in theaters because like we were, really excited. Like he said, we're big Marvel people.
Which hindsight was a mistake, because I feel like I would consider us pretty fortified and also, like versed for like where we're at in life as to like how to like defend ourselves. But that was hard work for sure. Like in the theater trying to like, because one thing about Marvel, one thing that I've noticed that they've done, and this is what's so scary about Halloween, is that like the world is accustomed to these big companies cultivating a universe and then also adding little tidbits like little Easter eggs So now you're not even like subconsciously digesting things. You're actively digesting things. You're actively looking to seek these things out. So there's like, especially in Doctor Strange, there's a lot of things mixed in there where you're going to end up seeing it, and you're going to, like, whether you recognize it or not, like, it's, you know, kind of seared into your brain if you're not careful.
Yeah, like it really affects you.
Excuse me, can you put these Uno cards down before you start a fight? Alright? When you start
You ain't ready. You ain't ready.
You don't want
You
it.
ain't ready.
We working right now.
You ain't ready.
You don't want the people to see you in a bad light. In a sore losing light.
Wins a couple games.
7 is far from a couple. Over the span of 30 minutes. No big deal. Anyway.
You may have won the battle, but the war isn't over. Yeah. But speaking of Disney and, like, having little ones and just, like, all of the subliminal and very conscious things that they're, and, like, messaging that they're pushing.
Yeah.
It is kind of like, I don't want to say scary because I'm not afraid about it, but like for the littles, I feel like it really can be scary.
It is. Like, from,
because it's everywhere.
Yeah, they make dabbling in the spiritual seem a lot less than taboo and
like
far
the
from dangerous.
Spiritual,
yeah. Well, is there a difference? Because you're either going with God or you're, you know, you're doing something that's not of God. But, and that's the thing, like, so like when Crystal says the demonic spiritual, I've noticed that, like, Disney has a way of making none of it seem demonic while showing you demons.
Yeah.
Like, Hercules literally featured hell in
Hades.
Yeah, in Hades, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
but his character was funny.
Right? And likable.
And
almost. Had a cool haircut. Like,
yeah.
You know, which is definitely something to be taken from that too, because that's typically how you're confronted with evil in a way that is easily digestible for you.
Yes, it's very sweet. It's very digestible.
That being said, like, because I know we got other talking points. Disney, drop the ball one more time. I'm knocking at your door. That's that. And I'm not even talking about just with Marvel. With Star Wars too. You canceled the Acolyte. The only Star Wars show that you had featuring a black woman as the lead. I'm not calling it a conspiracy. But I'm just saying.
If you were to call it a conspiracy, to what end?
I would call it Operation,
like, why would they have
Black
done that?
Wars, because it don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You got to show, and I know I'm going down a tangent. You know I'm a big Star Wars fan. You got to show named. I know you don't like when I bring up this show. Andor. Those of us who are nerds, you know. There's a Star Wars show. No lightsaber battles. Nothing about it was cool, you know, but nobody was screaming cancel Andor. You get the Acolyte, lightsaber battles out the wazoo, mad ethnic people, even Star Wars like uniforms built around the ethnicity that their characters are. So like there was like more Asian style fashion. Dope. Love it. Would I cosplay? Of course, but they were wearing things that you could just, you know, wear to, like, I know.
Yeah, just like dope clothing.
Yeah, dope clothing.
Dope ethnic clothing.
And for some reason, we're not getting another season, you know.
Can we bring back the tunic? Like, on that note, I'm a fan of
This summer was so hot, you almost caught me in the tunic. You almost caught me in a tunic with a leather band, with a thick leather band around the midriff area.
Yeah, if y'all watch The Chosen, it's giving Simon Z.
Yeah.
It's giving. Yeah. It's just giving tunic.
You almost had me dressing like a reformed zealot, for sure. Like.
Yeah.
But no, dude, Disney is scaring me these days because more and more people are kind of like just numb to it, or they don't care.
Well, the thing too is that it's very prevalent with Disney, but it's not just Disney. Like, it's in all of the music. Like, basically all of these artists nowadays are telling you exactly who they serve and exactly what rituals they do and how to do these rituals and, like, all of these things.
It's almost as if it's a PR rollout.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this Halloween is very concerning, I feel, because there's just been such a push in that direction over the course of this year, I feel like. So, I don't know. Guys, be very mindful of the media push, and be very mindful of where you are spiritually and physically this Halloween. I'm gonna be in the house. I'm gonna be prayed up because it's not giving anything good.
Don't call me on Halloween. Trick or treat, I got a trick for you. Not showing up. All
right. Next thing.
Whoa.
With November coming up, let's talk a little bit about religion and politics.
Oh. Forgive me, because I'm trying to get to the meat and potatoes. Seriously.
So,
who's cooking?
Now listen, this is what I'll say. I don't really judge people based off of who they vote for. I judge people based on their character and the way that they treat people. I understand that everybody has different value systems. I understand that different policies are more important at certain times than others and like things like that. So I approach it from a very rational, holistic standpoint. But that said, when it comes to choosing, and I'll tell you guys, my front runner was RFK Jr. I really enjoyed RFK Jr. Because I don't necessarily feel that I fully align with a two-party system. I feel like I'm, more independent. And just like the way that I think about things and like my obviously religion and things like that factor in a lot when I approach politics. But that said, like, you're never gonna have a perfect candidate, but I do think it's important to not fully dismiss your belief systems when it comes to choosing a candidate. What do you think about that?
I don't even know who RFK is.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Alright. Yeah.
Baby, what?
I'm more concerned about these Uno cards right now. RFK. No, generally, I feel like
the Kennedys, President Kennedy.
Yeah, the one with the convertible.
JFK. You know, who they assassinated in broad daylight?
Yeah, the one with the convertible.
Yeah, and then his brother, RFK, has a son who's RFK Jr.
Yeah, I'm good on the cronyism. I'm good on the nepotism. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if he's Sharon Stone's cousin. Okay.
That's a head of state reference. If y'all haven't seen that movie.
I feel like what's always going to be the most important, first and foremost, is grassroots. Like, know the people that are directly responsible for the place that you live in. And then, not that this is legal advice, but like, go buy a gun. Learn how to use said gun, buy a dog, and figure out how to eat without a grocery store. And then make a sound decision.
You know what? It's so interesting that you said that, because in a video that I just recorded about the conspiracies that I believe in, because people be conspiring, I was talking about how
it's cold in here.
How the food that we're given has the ability to reproduce after its own kind infinitely. And I was saying that genetically modified food may not have that same ability to reproduce after its own kind infinitely.
May modify your genetics if you eat it long enough. That's a thing that you should be worried about.
Well, and that's a thing that RFK Jr. was worried about. But
let me tell you something.
Not necessarily like the genetic modification.
Them Kennedy brothers like cannot be trying.
No, that's why. No, see, this is the thing.
Everything's all good till the woman's involved.
When you get to a certain
come here, kiddo.
I don't want to say it this way, but like echelon of thought kind of thing. Like when you think in a way that's so against the system, they will kill you. Like, they will kill you.
Let me tell you something. I found out recently, you know the Pulitzer? Mm-hmm. The Pulitzer is not the highest achievement for journalism, believe it or not. Did you know that?
I didn't.
The highest achievement for journalism is getting killed by the CIA. No, I'm joking. Can we cut that? That was supposed to be a joke. Wow. But seriously though, like they are shutting up the truth tellers. They are shutting up the truth tellers, okay? So I say, before you start spreading your beliefs, before you start even openly talking about what you believe in, you need to find a way to defend yourself and your family. Because although the First Amendment is an amendment, I mean, the very word amend means to change. You know? So I think that taking things for granted, like if you look like me, you know, if you have African descent, you live in America, and you don't own a firearm, I just find that to be counterproductive. Like, there was a point in time where we weren't considered to be people, and then now you're seeing people of a certain financial status stop being considered to be people.
Ooh, that's interesting. I kind of agree. Expound on that.
Read.
Read.
Right now. So at first, and I like to think that
like Elon Musk.
Yeah, like Elon Musk is so rich that he doesn't see people as people. He sees people as a commodity. And I think people who are not that rich should probably realize that, you know, like Elon Musk was rich enough to farm your data, and he was rich enough to buy a company where you're surrendering data, it's surrendering information about yourself and your goings on, and then use that to make his other products more intuitive, and work better, you know, with people. So if that's a thing, then like that means your individuality is being weaponized against you. You know, the things that make you, the things that make you unique, the things that your family loves about you, your phone will be able to know and pick up on in a matter of time. So just the human experience has become very digital and impersonal.
I have a question. But follow up on that.
Yeah, I do want to get back on task. I mean, to put it simply though, in terms of like being treated not like people, is we're kind of being like, we're like the sacrificial lamb right now to the nation in terms of going without resources, in terms of going without housing, in terms of going without the things that you need. The U.S., like other countries, are letting refugees in at a cyclic rate. But I feared that there's an ulterior motive. I think that was meant to destabilize the lower class of society, and I think it was meant as an effort to farm votes, really, because a lot of these people are getting voting rights, where, I mean, there's felons on the list waiting for voting rights. There's people who are organic to the country that are not getting treated nearly as well. I actually know a couple of citizens that are thinking about leaving the country just to sneak back in because they're treating immigrants better than U.S. citizens. So at that point, I think you need to start taking a look at the people who are responsible for you, because they're the people that are allowing it to happen. You're not going, it's okay. I mean, in theory, like, it is good. It is a good idea to open your borders and allow people, you know, to like take refuge. But what we're seeing now is that that's at the cost of the home that you're in right now, you know, versus, you know, trusting the government to handle this amicably and responsibly. You're seeing things like the rate of crime skyrocketing in New York and California and like the West Coast. California was, I'm pretty sure, the biggest place where undocumented people were allowed in, and, you know, kind of like allowed that fast track to citizenship. And then New York was the second place. And at this time, or sure, any given time between now and the election, you can look at the crime rates, dude.
But it's interesting
scary.
Too, of like, you know, as we approach this election season, I feel like there have been a lot of rumblings that have bubbled up toward the surface of the citizenry, of just like a blatant distrust of the government. And It's very interesting. Very, very interesting.
It is.
But to kind of like go, you had said something that made me think of this question that I wrote down. Social media. Do you think it has done more, or is doing currently more harm than good? As, I mean, and we can talk about it holistically as it pertains to like spreading information, just like the aspect of being social. Because are we really social nowadays on social media?
Yeah,
or are we just like marketing ourselves? And like to what extent is it social anymore?
I think honestly, the term social media kind of feels like a play on words, because the two words, and like I guess the connotation of each word is very like different. You know, like we being social, it's almost kind of like implied that there's something genuine about it.
Yeah.
You know, where media,
like community and
media is always planned and very packaged.
So you think the concept itself is an oxymoron? Yeah,
I do, and I think
very interesting.
I think even more so if you are like the internet already is known for like exploiting like the weaknesses in you, you know, like the internet is going to know if you are an impulse buyer because your Amazon cart will always be full, or the internet is going to know that like you don't really have substance to character because we're only seeing pictures of your butt, you know, like so it's
not the booty pics.
I'm just saying like the internet is a place for you to not be held accountable as readily as you would if you were rude to somebody in person, or if you were to do something, you know, like I don't know, indecency exposure in person.
That's true. Because I feel like online, to that point, you have that whole thing of like, well, this is just my social media persona, and you can kind of disconnect your persona from your person.
Which leads me to believe that there is an attack on self, you know, like social media is breeding, and I do mean, okay, EJ, young lady, ma'am.
You happen.
Yeah.
You happen.
What happened? Are you done? But basically, though, I think social media is just breeding divisiveness and also breeding multiple personality disorder. You know?
Very interesting.
Because, again, it's a place where it's assumed that when you come here, you're not going to be yourself. So people cultivate an entire personality, an entire persona, an entire look, and different aesthetic just for a fictitious place, because people around the world can see it. And like you said like you said last night, you can't control how people perceive you.
Right.
But social media gives you the ability to do that, which makes it disingenuine, which makes it a place for liars.
Dang, a place for social media, a place for liars. Don't flag my video. That's
remember, I'm a guest. All right, I'm a guest. Feel free.
I do think that social media has done a lot of good, but I also think like in this day and age, the lines are getting muddled as it's becoming definitely more censored and it's becoming more agendaed in a lot of ways. But let's wrap this up.
I also just want to give a shout out to those on social media who are actually doing good work.
Authentic.
Like, yes. Like all the videographers, all the people who have like built dope cars. Yes, thank you.
It's Ashli J. Washington.
Make sure you plug her.
Award-winning directress.
Can you put her like info in the? Well, you know how people point up, and then you should put it.
Well, it's gonna be in the description.
Okay.
But yeah, y'all know the vibes.
But yeah,
y'all know the vibes.
All the people who seen the opportunity to be someone else and decided to like be even more true to themselves and capture that in real time. Kudos.
Yeah.
You deserve a bow, a hand clap.
Those are the pages that I follow.
And a cold beer if you drink it.
You like to feel authentic.
Amazing. I think we should do a video about like some of our favorite like pages.
Sure.
Too.
Y'all heard it. Josh gonna be back on the channel. Y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it here.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, I guess we'll just wrap it there.
Mm-hmm.
This was a very interesting discussion. These are the kind of discussions that we have at our house all the time. And yeah, I just like to pick his brain on stuff. So if you like this video, you know, give me a like, comment down below your thoughts, subscribe, share, turn on your post notification bell so that you're notified every time I make an upload.
Be on the lookout. If you guys want me back on the channel, you know.
The people have been wanting you on the channel.
I'm flattered. All right.
All right. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.